Nick and I met during junior high. He was in 7th grade and I was in 8th, and we were in IP, it was intervention program. We just fell in love, and we loved each other through junior high and high school. He was always the funny guy, sweet guy. Eventually, the tumultuous times of high school ended, and we both went off to college. And I loved going to college with Nick because he was in a band he started with his friend Joe Automaton, and I used to go to his shows in Tulsa and Stillwater and watch him play. He was always really passionate about music. We had a lot of the same taste in music, really. I think that's what bonded us so much.
He taught me a very important life lesson. We were driving in the snow, and he just decides to full blown gas it. I don't know what his problem was, but he just decided to swerve. The suck finder was just going left to right and up and down, and black was yellow and Chinese were Russian. It was crazy, and we almost hit the mailbox, and I flip out. I'm like, Nick, what are you doing with your life, man? You could have died. And he's like, Sean, if you don't take risks like that in your life, it's going to be boring, man. Ever since then, I haven't been bored once. Yeah, man. I was there when Nick died. I was like, Nick, how bad do you want to go get like shitty trashed? And he was like, yeah, dude, I'll be there in 15. And so he drives over to my house and he picks me up. And I'm like, Nick, where do you want to go drink at? He's like, I don't know. I thought you had an idea. So I was like, all right, well, let's go out to downtown because I know where these bums are. So anyway, we continue on this night. We find these bums, and we get this KD. We're pulling off this KD, and we're getting drunk, and we run into this like weird biker guy, like he's got like skinhead tats and stuff, and Nick's like, hey dude, how much you want to bet that I can try to pick a fight with him? And I'm like, dude, don't do it, man, don't do it. I'm like, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to prove? So he goes up and he's like, aren't you the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan? But we keep going down the street. We were running like 3 red lights, and I'm just like, oh my god, Nick needs to pull over. So I finally convince his ass to get to pull over. And anyway, we start walking on the sidewalk, and we get in this bar, and I got a fake ID. I wasn't 21 at the time, but Nick was. And anyway, so we get into this bar or whatever, and we're ordering shot after shot, you know, and I'm about to throw up, and Nick, he's just tanking them away, but he's just getting drunker by the second. And so Nick, he decides that he can play bass better than that guy. And I'm just like, okay. And he's like, no, dude, this is bullshit. He's playing it all fucking wrong. And so Nick goes up there, takes the fucking bass out of the guy's hand, and I'm just like, oh my god, I can't believe this. The band completely stops. Nick's completely shit-faced out of his head. And when I saw that, I was like, that is the closest you'll ever be to an intense personal gratitude for yourself. He's just up there, just completely one with himself with this freaking bass. And he goes, there is no God. Pours a bottle of water all over his face and starts eating the bass strings. And it electrocutes his ass. I'm like, oh my God. He just electrocuted himself. And so I run up there. His hair is fucking sizzling. I've never seen so much steam come off of one man's head. It was the most metal fucking thing I've ever seen. But it wasn't so metal when IMSA showed up.
So, my favorite thing about Nick is that if anything, on the internet happens, he knows about it. Like if you have a question about any meme or mime or however it's said, you're like, I don't understand why everybody says this on the internet. Nick can explain it to me.
Raptor Jesus.
Nick and his music. He's always talking about these bands like Coil and some, and I don't know, some kind of boom bop people. I don't know. I don't get it. He talks like they're like really great bands or really influential and all this, and I've never even heard of them. He was like telling me about this band that their album was like worth like a shitload of money. I don't remember how much. It was like more money than I can count. I was like, why would it be worth that much? I've never even heard of them. It can't be that great. I don't know. It was just awkward. I loved him anyways, though, because, I don't know, I just didn't listen to music with him. Like, take that elsewhere, sir. So I've always have his back. Every time he gets stuck in the mud, I push his truck out of the mud, right with my hands. He still never paid me back for that one. He owes me.
You haven't got your car stuck in the mud yet.
No. One of these days I'll get stuck in the mud and I'm going to send up a prayer to Nick to help me get out of the mud.
In retrospect, how is your and Nick's relationship?
Sexual.
More year, in college and SU. Basically, I was hanging out with Zach, and he took me to Wiley, and Nick was over there with Zach. They're from Korea, Christian place. We had a lot of fun. He's always making funny jokes. We have a lot of memories. Like in my sophomore year, I was hanging out with Zach and Nick, lunch a lot. We sometimes watch movies. We sometimes have programs, and we play like pokers or outdoor board games.
How'd you hear Nick died?
I heard about the things from Zach. He was really upset, and that makes me really sad too.
It does.
It makes me feel like, like I'll never meet someone who make a fart joke anymore. That makes me really sad.
Do you know how Nick died?